Chat. Awesome. Can everyone see the chat room? Open up your chat room if you can, because I want some of this to be interactive, please. Oh, I am so happy you're here. Welcome to the God is My Guru Contemplative Masterclass. That sounds very important. It's very important, I think. I am most excited to share this content because truly the methodology and the techniques that I'm going to be sharing are truly what changed my life and really are the methodology that I share with all of my clients, whether they're in my psychology practice or my coaching practice. This really is, as I call it, the way. And it's so wonderful because the way is actually already inside of you. And I just help to kind of excavate it, so to speak. And I'm going to show you that tonight. We're going to be here for maybe 45 minutes to an hour. Again, thank you so much for coming. It just means so much to me. I'm so happy you're here. One of the things that us wayfinders need to do in our lives, I believe, is be very, very intentional. And so I have some intentions for our time together. And I would love for you to write in the chat room, what is an intention that you have for this hour? And it's an interesting question when you think about how you don't know what I'm going to be sharing and talking about, but there's a reason you're here. Like, what I would love to hear, what is your intention? And so this is my intention. My intention is you are going to meet the version of yourself who knows the way in your life, the version of yourself who is the most wise, the one who speaks the truth, the one who orients to freedom, that version of you. So we're going to not only identify who she is, who he is, which will then become your own GPS for your own path, but I'm going to then also teach you how to ask questions of that higher self, listen to that higher self, and take directions from her and him because they've got some really good information to share with you. We just simply need to know this technique of how do I get the answers? How do I know the way? So I'm going to be sharing 3 really practical tools for you that I use in my life and with all my clients. You're going to walk away tonight knowing exactly how as well. So it's going to be really, really juicy. All right. I intend to learn not to second guess what I already know. Trust my knowing. That is exactly what you're going to learn how to do. And I'm so excited for that because, it gets to be kind of giggly good at that point. Okay. So who else has an intention that they're willing to share? Oh, I intend to surround myself with like-minded souls. You have already reached your intention, Megan. Already done, completed, done. That is a beautiful intention. And I always ask, where are they? Where are they? I wonder who I'm going to meet today at this meeting. And I wonder, I'm always looking for my wayfinders, my fellow wayfinders, along the way, and I find them because I go looking for them. So it makes it appear like I can make friends anywhere I go, but I can because I'm very intentional about that. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do tonight. Let's see. Next slide. Okay, before we dive in, this whole masterclass is informed by this book, God is My Guru. It's my latest journal / workbook that was just published. You can get it on Amazon or you can get it at godismyguru.com. And it's just my baby. I love it. So this is going to walk you through everything tonight that we're talking about. But before we do, let's talk about some definitions. Okay, so this class, my book is called God is My Guru. And I just want to say a couple things first about the word God. So for some of us, we love using the word God. And for some of us, that word has been maybe riddled with pain. And I just want to honor that some of us have religious trauma. And so you truly get to think about and name what you call your higher power. I name it God. I will call it God. But put in the chat room, are there other names that you use for naming this higher power? Now, this higher power God, it's the thing that like makes your heart beat for 51 years, and I haven't, thought about it much, but it just does it. It's the thing that makes the coral reefs at the bottom of the ocean. I'm like pretty sure I didn't have anything to do with that, right? It's that energy, that force. I also call it love, source, the divine, Heavenly Father, beautiful, the divine. Okay, so that's what I mean when I say God. We are going to be talking about a spiritual life and your spiritual pathway. And really, spirituality, in my definition, is your relationship with your higher self or your relationship with your higher power. And it's as simple as that. And so now that you know we've got this definition of your higher power, it's just your relationship with it, your relationship with your highest self. What do I mean by that? We're going to define that, but your highest self is the one that knows the way. I'm going to walk you through exactly how to define her. And the higher life. So the techniques I'm sharing with you are how I've created everything I've created. And if you think about the fact that we are created by the creator, so we are created in the image of the creator, well, then we are creators. And so we are all creating this life, this beautiful life of ours, whether we're creating things in business, we're creating families, we're creating relationships, we're creating, you see the impact. The higher life is really where I meld high performance that's fueled by, informed by, directed by, co-created with your higher power. And that came to me on the treadmill a couple years ago. My friends know that most of my great ideas come to me on the treadmill. For some reason, it's like my portal to God. And I remember exactly where I was. I was on the second floor of the Double Diamond Athletic Club. And I called my best friend on Voxer and I'm like, it's called the Higher Life. My company is called the Higher Life. And God is my guru I just dropped in these ideas drop in my mind. And so the very thing that you're experiencing tonight was and came through me through this exact technology, which I think is so just exciting and fun to think about. Okay, so those are kind of the definitions, so to speak. So now we know what we're talking about. Okay. I believe the purpose of our lives is to think God's thoughts. If God is love, if God is our wisest, the wisest version of ourselves, right? Wouldn't it be amazing to think like God thinks and to do what God would suggest and to kind of have God be your CEO and God be your family manager and God be all the things, right? Now, there's something that I've learned that may seem quite obvious to you, but in order to hear what God's thoughts are, we need to listen. And in order to listen, I believe it helps to get still or to at least quiet the mind and again, kind of open up that portal, that channel and listen. So I also believe that you are the representation of God in your life. How you treat yourself is how you treat God. That's a big statement. But the purpose of our lives is to think God's thoughts. So I want to tee up an idea that I heard Oprah speak of on a recent podcast, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is what I've done, but I didn't know I was doing it this way necessarily. But she said this, she said, God, tell me what the answer is, and I will be obedient to the call. The true secret to my success is I live in God's dream for me. She said something so fascinating. She said, I never told God what I needed or what the plan was, or okay, this is what we're going to go do. And, can you make that happen? And I thought, wow, that's how I've moved. I wait. I wait for what I call the nudge, and I'll teach you how to listen to that and hear that. But what an absolutely incredible way to live your life, right? That I live in God's dream for me. It's just okay. If any of you, I want to show you an example of all of this, okay? And I'm going to have Garth, my amazing husband, read to you my bio. And I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. One, there are some of you that are new to my world. And if you are new, if this is the first masterclass you've ever attended of mine, please put the word new in the chat. I am so glad you're here. I've been doing online work for the last 11 years. 11 years. Oh my gosh, is it okay? Can you just take that in? Take that in, everyone. You think, okay, 11 years in and I still got newbies, right? That's how it works. And I think that's so exciting. And so whatever your mission is and whatever the calling is on your heart, keep going. Keep going. Okay. So I'm going to have Garth read my bio and then I'm going to share something about it. Okay.
Should I? Well, you can pick up my microphone.
You are not muted.
I know, but your microphone's picking me up. Otherwise, we'll get feedback. Okay.
Okay. He's sitting across from me.
Yeah. So hopefully everyone will be able to hear me. I'll squat down like this.
Okay.
All right. So every business needs an optimizer. Dr. Erin Oksol, the success psychologist, is your go-to expert for transforming individuals and teams into high-performing powerhouses. She specializes in helping CEOs, leaders, and entrepreneurs evolve the human behind the business. She has been awarded top doctor by Best in Nevada, one of the top 5 mindset and performance coaches in the world by USA Today, the professional saleswoman of Nevada, and one of the top 125 global leaders to follow by Success Magazine. She is a renowned psychologist, award-winning high-performance executive coach, 8-time best-selling author, speaker, and corporate trainer. With her science-backed pathways to elevate thinking, execution, and results, combined with spiritually informed embodiment practices, Dr. Erin is here to help you and your organization thrive. Dr. Erin lives in Reno with her husband, Garth, and 3 amazing children.
Okay. Thank you, honey.
Yep.
Okay. This is what I want to show you through the example of hearing all of that. When I began, thank you. When I began my business 8 years ago, I did not know how I was going to make any of that happen. Okay? That wasn't even the goal. I mean, there's no blueprint necessarily to get into Success Magazine. Does that make sense? There's no book you can buy, like, here are the 3 steps to get into Success Magazine. Here are the 3 steps to become the saleswoman of the year. Here are the 3 steps but there are what I call breadcrumbs that God leaves us. And I want you to think of the way as following God's breadcrumbs, one after another, after another, after another. And here is the walk of the way. It's 1 foot in desire and 1 foot in gratitude. 1 foot in desire and 1 foot in gratitude for the rest of your life. Okay? And it's noticing the breadcrumbs along the way. So I'll just give you an example of my breadcrumb trail. Okay? These are the little nudges from God. So 10 years ago, we were struggling. I was like, I could not make any more money because I'm a psychologist. I couldn't add any more hours to my life. I was already busy enough. And we were like, we've got to make more money. We have 3 small children. And I decide to do a business online. And fast forward, so I get the nudge to do that. Then fast forward, I start to train on these calls. And I realize, oh my gosh, my training, my speaking is having kind of an impact. Although my number one fear was speaking. And so I would get panic attacks and I would have red hives that traveled up my neck. And I mean, I was just, but I knew that God was saying, speak, just speak. Fast forward a couple years in that business, we weren't getting the results that I wanted. I would cry myself to sleep, and my friend was like, "Well, I have a coach." I said, "What's a coach?" I'd never heard of a coach before, and she goes, "Well, I got this coach." And I said, "Well, then I must need a coach. Let me talk to him." So I get on the phone with this coach, and he's a mindset coach, and I have this nudge. You could do that. That would be fun. You could really help people that want to focus on possibility instead of pathology. You could really apply all of this stuff you know about psychology to business. Okay, that's a nudge, right? Then I'm like, well, if I'm going to start a business, then I guess I got to go where the business people go. And I started going to networking meetings and eating chicken with strangers, right? Never had done that before. And I was like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to wear. What do I say? What do I do? And I go, and somehow I meet a lot of people. A year later, I'm professional saleswoman of the year. I think I've met a lot of people. I look back on my calendar. I had gone on 213 coffee dates. I saw a lot of humans and I can see humans. And so I realized, oh, that's how I kind of got to be the saleswoman of the year because I understood the psychology of seeing the humans and serving the humans and helping the humans. And in the that year, I also hear this nudge from God saying, you are meant to be a speaker. And it felt exciting to me. It was like, really? Like that's terrifying, but I believe so. I've seen kind of how that feels and how that moves people when I speak. And I was like, well, I have no idea how to be a speaker. And I went to these networking events and I saw a speaking coach and she had trained Pavarotti. And I was like, I think she knows how to teach me how to be a speaker. And I hired her. And then I was like, I'm going to have to figure out sales too. And so I hired a sales coach and that was a nudge from someone that I met at one of the networking events. And you see, and then it was like, wait, I think I want to write a book. Okay, I think we're going to do that. And then I met someone online that published books and I was like, I think I'm ready to write a book. And it was my first book, Mind Your Own Business. And we did that. Do you see? The way reveals itself along the way. And my superpower was clarity of who I want to be and what I want to do with my life. And my highest self, I want you to imagine your highest self is quite literally always just sitting next to you. And she's just like, I got some great ideas if you'd like to consult me any moment. I've got some ideas from little questions like, what would you order off the menu? Would you go to the gym today? How would you greet your son when he comes down the stairs from school? What kind of wife do you value being? Do you want to go to coffee with this person? What do we want to post today? She's got the answers. So your highest self already knows the way. I will ask and then listen. Okay. So let's figure out who she is. This is so simple and so profound. Okay. Your highest self, I just want you to think of what are the words that would describe your highest self. You're eventually going to pick 3. So maybe after this masterclass, you want to really brainstorm and pick, just brain dump all of the words that would describe your highest self. Let's put some in the chat room right now because I often get people like, oh, I like that word. I want to steal that word. Or I want to. So my 3 words, I ended up on fit, free, and aligned. And I know what those words mean for me. I know what fit means for me. It means spiritually fit, emotionally fit. My relationships are fit, they're healthy, free. I know what that means to me. And aligned. I'm aligned with my God and my highest self. Maybe your highest self is present. Just throw some words in the chat room, you guys. What are some of your words? Garth, you can share your words too.
From the chat.
Yes. What are some of your words? Courageous, confident, uh, giving, positive, successful. Beautiful, Garth. You are those three. That is so beautiful. Okay, so Megan, these words are words that describe who you would be being. So they're more like a value of I am. So your words might be healthy. I am I am I lead. I intuitive, beautiful. Your highest self. She is what? She is beautiful, balanced, giving, worthy, enough, perfect, trustworthy, beautiful. So again, ooh, love it. I know, intuitive. I know. I'm like, that's a really good one. I love it. And that's what you're all here to learn, just to make that grow. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. So these are the ideas. This is your highest self. Now, advanced training, advanced ninja move here. After you adopt this highest self identity, you could and kind of start practicing. I'll teach you how to practice putting this identity on. You could then think of what are your three words for the different roles you play in your life. So as I transition and I come home and I'm a wife, I have different three-word identity that I put on. As a wife, I value being blank, blank, and blank, right? As a mother, if I'm spending time with my children, I am clear of who I value being. As a mother, I value being blank, blank, and blank. As a friend or in social situations, as a speaker, I value being blank, blank, and blank. So you can really learn how to create these different ideal identities as you transition. So again, it's advanced. Here's what we want to do with our three words. I want these three words to be on what I call the dashboard of your brain. I want them front and center until they are front and center. Okay. I want you to put them front and center however you need to. Maybe that's on a post-it note on your mirror. Maybe that's on your phone. But every morning you're looking at your day. And this is what the happiest, most successful people on the planet do. Again, they live with great intention. They're intentional about who they value being. So at the beginning of the day, I would look at your schedule and say, what is my intention for today? As you transition from every hour or meeting to the next, you set your intention for every meeting as you go throughout your day. You could even say four words: release tension, set intention. Release tension, set intention. Charlotte and Tina and I have a psychology practice. Between every client, I am saying, what is my intention for this next client? What is my intention for this meeting? What did we talk about last time? What is my intention for this meeting? And then you bookend it. So you can bookend it at the end of the day. You can start there, or at the end of your transition and say, how did I do? And catch yourself being the woman you say you want to be. Catch yourself being the man you say you want to be. It's as simple as that. And over time, my friends, you are going to be happy. So I'm going to give you the keys to the kingdom. I'm going to give you the simple equation, I believe, for happiness. And you'll see how it's kind of built on itself. But happiness is alignment plus embodiment. So what do I mean? Alignment meaning we are aligning. We're aligning to our highest self, which you just defined. We're aligning to our higher power. We're aligning to our mission. We're aligning to our purpose on the planet. We're aligning to our goals. We're aligning to all those things. We are clear about all those things. And if you don't know your purpose on the planet and all the things, we can do that in like 2.5 minutes. Not kidding. Like that's easy for me to do too. But if you don't know all that, let's get you really clear on that. Because then if you are aligned to that and then you embody that, embodiment just means taking your body and moving. doing something. So happiness is aligning who do you want to be and then being who you say you want to be. Okay, I'll give you a silly example. If if being fit is one of my values, and I know what that means, and I am not engaging in behaviors that are healthy and fit, it's going to be pretty hard to dig myself. It's just the truth. Self-esteem, you want self-esteem? Self-esteem is alignment plus embodiment. Put another way, if being fit is a value of mine and I engage in being fit behaviors, I have a chance of liking myself. Let me give you another example. If your value as a parent, for example, is to be patient and you are impatient, it's going to be pretty hard to like yourself. But if you practice being patient, you have a chance of liking yourself. You have a chance. That is foundational happiness. Happiness meaning I like who I am. Happiness not being based on circumstances, not based on circumstances, based on identity. So that at the end of the day, when my head hits the pillow, for example, and let's say my children have just been just awful children all day long, I could still, when my head hits the pillow, I could still be like, and I was the mother I valued being today. I did it. Do you see? Happiness is not circumstantial. So some of you, you're like, okay, I want to be confident. Okay, so what would the embodiment of being confident look like? Let's talk now about what you would be doing if you were being your ideal self. So God told me one day this amazing line, when God moves, I move. I remember where I was on a session with my healer and I was like, I just wait. When God moves, I move. When God moves, I move. But I move, okay? All those accolades in my bio because I move, I do things, right? So we're co-creating with our higher power, our higher life. But I want you to think about if I were being, and insert your word, what would I be doing? So God gives you the calling and you answer the call. God gives you the calling and you answer the call. You embody God's dream for you. Remember what Oprah said? I'm going to embody God's dream for me. So let me teach you my first strategy. Now, this is just fancy. It's just fancy, meaning I call it honor the nudge. It's just very, very simple. Okay. But we love a good 4-step plan. Okay. So here's a 4-step plan for all of y'all. Okay. This is what you're going to do. You're going to pause and take a breath. You're going to do what I call drop down and take a look around. What do I mean by that? I mean, drop into your body. If you imagine just dropping into the lower layers of an ocean, so to speak, you're not on the surface, you're not swirling around, you're like dropping down and you're taking a look around and you're going to listen. You're going to listen for what it says to do. Step 3, you're going to do what it says. And 4, you're going to repeat forever. Okay? Like, we're going to listen. We're going to honor the nudge. I'll give you a couple more examples of how to really do this, but we can all do this, right? What is a question or a move that you're wondering what you should be doing in your life? Put it in the chat room. What is something that you're pondering? You could give us the exact details. You could say it's something in my business. You could say it's a relationship. What is something you're wondering about and kind of wanting an answer for, waiting for the nudge. Really think about that in your life, okay? Okay. As we talk about waiting for the answers, I want to say sometimes we're in what I call God's waiting room, where we're just waiting and we want the answer now and we would like it yesterday, please. I always say I would like the answer as fast as possible, God, please. You know? But sometimes we're in God's waiting room. And I don't know a lot of humans that love to hang out in waiting rooms, but we can tolerate that. I had a situation in my life this last year that was a big decision about a big relationship I was having with a friend. And Tanaya, actually, who's another therapist in our center, she said, "You'll know when it's time." And that was the truth. That was a reminder of what I know is the truth. And I was in God's waiting room for a long time until I wasn't. So sometimes you're in God's waiting room. And what is required of us, I believe, is faithfulness. So I just want to speak about faithfulness. It's a one of the big sections in God is my guru. But I will tell you, one of the character traits that I have developed that has led me to have all that I have is faithfulness. And I wouldn't have known that at the beginning of my journey. And what do I mean? Would you not agree that most of us are really, really addicted to the how? How? But I need to know how. Like, but how? Like, show me how. How? But how? And here is my understanding of what it means to be a person of faith. Faith is not knowing how. Faith is saying, I'm going to stick around long enough to find out. Faith is not knowing how. It is saying, I'm going to stick around long enough to find out. Can I get an amen on a Monday? Okay. You can practice being faithful to your dream, faithful to your mission, faithful to the desires on your heart, and really think about how would I practice faithfulness? How would I practice staying in it? What would that look like? And one of the ways that I have found is very helpful is to replace goals with promises. What do I mean by this? Imagine 25 years ago when Garth and I were saying I do. A couple weeks ago this week, actually, we just celebrated our 25th. Imagine if instead of promises that we made to each other, we asserted some goals. Imagine if Garth was like, my goal is to stay faithful to you. That's my goal. I have a goal to love you. My goal is, right, to be with you in sickness and health. I would have been like, what? No, that is not good. He didn't make a goal, he made a promise. I promise to be faithful. I promise to set the captives free. That's my mission on the planet. I promise to stay faithful to that. Goals are pretty tenuous, you know? I can have some goals, and of course, we can use our brain for goals and goal setting. But what promises could you make to yourself? I promise that I will continue to be open to blank. I promise to be a good steward of my gifts. I promise to what? What are the promises you might want to make to yourself? So I just wanted to say that about when we are asked to wait and when we are asked to be faithful in the waiting time. Okay. So let's talk about embodiment. Take your 3 words or take your words that describe your ideal self, and you're going to ask yourself, this is literally just asking God for the directions that you already have inside of you. You say, God, what would you have me know about? Okay, let's say you want to be patient or you want to be trustworthy. You can literally ask God, what would you have me know about being trustworthy? And then ask God, what would I be doing if I were being trustworthy? So who is willing to unmute themselves and share one of their words and then share what would that look like if you were being that? Like what actually in your life? Is anyone willing? or I can help you with it. If you're like, but how? How?
I'll start,
Awesome.
or I'll do.
Okay,
So,
great, Megan. And then Charlotte. Perfect.
so one of the things for me is to be more confident, and a lot of it is I do want to share a lot of the excitement I have with my clients, but I hinder myself because I am afraid of the public speaking piece of it. So for me, it'd be for the confidence and how do I get to that level of public, like comfortably public speaking. I get the same way. I'll get the hives. I almost sound like I'm crying.
Uh-huh.
So that would be for me the confident side of it.
I'm going to ask you a question that might sound so silly and so elementary and like Captain Obvious has entered the Zoom room. Okay. What do you imagine you would be doing if you were confident about speaking?
What I would imagine if I was,
What would you be doing if you were confident?
I would do events where I'd go and speak with people about unlocking their mindset. I am a big believer about our mindsets, using our intuition, but it's
Yep.
still a lot of practice for me too.
Yep.
I
You,
can see myself on a stage and front speaking to like-minded people wanting the same things, and
woo.
yeah.
Okay. Did everyone hear what she said? She would be speaking. I want to be confident about speaking. What would you be doing if you were confident about speaking? I would be speaking. Okay. Such a great example, Megan, because this is literally the example I use. So when I wanted to be a speaker, I remember telling my friend Debbie, I'm like, I want to be a speaker. Like, how? How do you become a speaker? And she goes, I think you speak. And I go, okay, yeah, but how? Like, and she goes, well, we can figure that out. Okay. So let me give you the definition of confidence in adulthood. And you're going to want to write this down, Megan, because I'm going to blow your mind because you're going to be confident the second I tell you. Okay. So the definition of confidence in adulthood is two things, and it's different than childhood developmentally. Okay. In adulthood, the first definition of confident is the ability to figure things out. So, are you a woman that can figure out how to speak? Yes, you are, just like I was. I was not confident before I became a speaker that I was a good speaker. That would be like looking in a mirror and being like, I'm a great speaker. And yourself is like, liar, liar, pants on fire. Like, no, you're not. You're not a great, you know what I mean? Or I'm a millionaire and you're like, liar, liar, pants on fire. So I am a woman who can figure things out. That's what you're confident in, not in the thing that you don't yet know how to do. So that's one piece of confidence. So everyone here has figured out everything so far in their life. So you can figure this out. And everything that you desire being, everyone, every word that you shared, you can learn how to be that. If you don't know how to be patient, you can learn how to be patient. If you don't know how to be intuitive, you can learn how to be intuitive. If you don't know how to be a leader, you can learn how to be a leader. None of us come out of the womb knowing how to do any of this stuff. They're all skills we can learn. So the number one way you can often grow your confidence is to grow your competence. It's called the confidence competence loop. So the second I wanted to be a speaker, I was like, I do not know how to do that, but I know she knows how. I will hire her. Then I knew how. Then I was kind of confident that I could probably go do it. And then I did it. And then I was pretty confident because I got good feedback. And then I kept doing it. Okay. So we just need to skill up. We just need to skill up. The second definition of confidence is to confide, confidence, to confide. What are we confiding in? Ourselves. What are we doing? We're trusting ourselves to keep the promises we make to ourselves. That's where I get a lot of my audiences be like, well, that definitely is not me. That's where I lose on the confidence thing. Like, I do not keep the promises I make to myself. Guess what? You could learn to become a woman that keeps the promises she makes to herself. We all can learn to be that. So again, it's going to be hard to be confident when we're constantly breaking the promises we make to ourselves, when we're not embodying our fully aligned identity, right? So all of that, you just get to skill up. You get to say, I am confident because that's just my ability to figure things out. I can skill up in anything I want to skill up in. And here I go. Thank you, Megan. Helpful?
Yes. Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you.
That's beautiful desire that God put on your heart. Sorry, not sorry. That's what I feel like saying, like, especially when you're scared of speaking and God's like, you're gonna go speak. And you're like, wow, like really? Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Charlotte.
Yes. Mine would be, God, what would you have me know about the trials and tribulations and the struggles I've had and the roadblocks in my business? Because I keep going through them for a reason. I must learn. I have to hear what he's trying to tell me so I can move forward.
Yes. Yes. And do you have a sense? Does your highest self have a sense of how you can get those answers?
Yes.
Oh, great. Great.
And what comes to me is I already know, just do. Like you said, move.
Oh, that's
It's
exciting.
that simple.
I
And
know.
I think that simplicity is what scares the heck out of me because I'm already so tired.
Oh, so maybe you even want to say, God, what would you have me know about energy and restoring my energy and how I can keep my body having vitality? Because I got big dreams here, and so I'm going to need a lot of energy. You
A
know,
lot.
it's like I got to learn how to create my own energy. My mentor always said the power plant doesn't have energy; it generates energy. When I learned there was a way to generate your own energy, I was like, oh, I thought only the lucky people got the energy. Like this is such good news. You can generate your own energy, you know? So absolutely awesome. Thank you, Charlotte, for
Thank
sharing that.
you.
It's so simple when we really look at it, right? You're like, oh, if I want to be great at tennis, I would go play tennis. If I want to insert anything, you would go do that thing. Okay, write this down, you guys, if you want. But I this is what psychology research has shown us. What we're talking about here is this: you're going to behave your way into different thinking instead of trying to think your way into different behaving. I'm going to say it again: behave your way into different thinking instead of trying to think your way into different behaving. Now, that may sound like blasphemy coming from a talk therapist of 23 years. Okay. But the number one thing that will move your thoughts is the doing. And so instead of sitting on the couch and being like, I will speak when I feel confident to speak. No, you will go speak and then your thoughts will follow and your confidence will follow. So you've got to literally just do it with whatever skill set you need to bring to the table to manage the fear that you're doing with it. And then over time, your thoughts change. Our thinking only gets us so far. We put so much on our thinking, but I am a person of action. I move quickly. I move swiftly because I have clarity. So become a person of action and watch your thinking change. Okay. You want to love yourself? What would you be doing if you were loving yourself? It's literally that simple. You want to be happy? What would you be doing if you were happy? I asked my friend this once because she struggled with depression. She's like, well, I would be dancing in the kitchen. I'm like, guess you got to start dancing in the kitchen. And she's like, that makes sense. What would you be doing if you were? One last thing. So these are all in the journal, but just for tonight, pick one of these words that you want God's thoughts on, where you want some direction, you want a little nudge, you want a little bit of like, what would God say about this? We're just going to take 1 minute, and then I want to hear from anyone that's willing to share. But ask, what is it that you just want a little download about from your highest self? What would you have me know about my body, worrying, friendships, money? Okay, so we're going to take 1 minute and just start journaling, writing down what you hear. Okay. Okay. So this, my friends, can you see how this would be an incredible prompt for a meditation every day? You could just pick a different word. You could, well, grab your journal and write the answers. So this is all there for you. God, what would you have me know about? And you put the word in and you journal about it. It's like love. What would you have me know about money? Love. What would you have me know about courage? What would you have me know about my body? There's a lot of answers in there. Who is willing to share?
I'd like to share.
Thank you so much.
So my name's Sarah, and the word that struck out to me immediately was discipline. And I feel like that's something I'm struggling with. And it's like, I know the right thing to do. I know the right thing to do. It's the, I know what the process is, but I'm just not doing it. And I'm like, for me by myself, it's like, accountability comes into play, but I'm not holding myself accountable. I know what to do. I know the right thing to do. I'm not doing it. And I'm finding that discipline, or that's what I'm searching. And I feel like I need right now, because I'm going in the circle, and I'm spinning wheels. And I'm like, there's traction right there, and I can see it's right here. I'm like, why aren't I catching it? They're just,
Sarah, did you ask God what God wants you to know about discipline?
yeah, what does God want me to know about discipline, or my higher power, the universe?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Yeah. And I don't know. It sounds like support,
Okay.
reaching out and
So
communicating about it.
keep listening. Your answers are there. I don't know what they'll be for you, but what higher power do you want me to know about discipline? And you drop down and take a look around and journal the answers that you hear, and they will come to you. I promise. It might not even be the how, it might be what your higher power wants you to know about discipline. Is anything coming to mind?
I mean, just that I can do it, and it's
Yes.
a flip of a switch, like you're saying.
Yes. Okay. You got it.
Yes.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No,
yes.
thank you.
And
Thank you.
it's like maybe you even start to hear, I mean, I would hear God saying, it's meant for you. There's so much freedom in discipline. God told me that once. I was like, freedom and discipline. And it became like, well, that's a book I want to write someday. Like, oh, the disciplined way is the freeing way. What does that mean? Well, what is discipline? Can you tell me? Oh, discipline's the gap between knowing what to do and doing what you know. Oh, how do you close that? Oh, you'd have to get really clear on like what the heck you're doing all this for and why. Okay, why do I want that? Okay, why do I want to not eat sugary cookies every night? Because I kind of really do want to eat sugary cookies why? Oh, because when you eat like a jerk, you're kind of a jerk. Okay, I don't want to be like a jerk anymore, like to my family. And so, oh, it's all tied. Oh my gosh, it's all spiritual. These cookies, oh, this cookie thing is a spiritual freedom thing. Oh, that's where I get with discipline. Okay. So to me, discipline is freedom. And just keep pondering. Yes, thank you, Sarah, so much for sharing. It's meant for you. Discipline is meant for you. Yes. Anyone else willing to share what God told you? Oh, Charlotte, thank you.
Go.
Please
Charlotte,
read
you
what
can
you
go
heard.
first if you want.
Oh,
Just you want me to go first?
Yeah, if you don't mind, go first, Megan.
Okay. So I asked the divine, what would you have me know about public speaking? I went back down that route.
yes.
What transpired for me is it's easier than you think. You already have all the tools you need to be successful. People want to hear what you have to say. You are someone people trust, and don't think, just do, from the whole Maverick movie, but it just popped out. I was like, all right. That's what popped for me.
How does that feel in your body?
I honestly, I'm shaking just telling you guys what transpired for me. So that'll be I think the confidence piece too, is just say it and not worry so much.
And sometimes, thank you so much, that I felt that in my body. That's amazing.
I did too.
You did? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We can feel that on a Zoom call, Megan, Marie, for you. And sometimes anxiety feels a lot like excitement. And I don't want you to confuse the two. So I'll give you a quick example. When I finally got ready to lead my 1 day event, I had 100 people coming, Megan, and I was going to speak for 8 hours straight. Okay. This is my dream. Everyone's coming. I cannot believe it. Like, oh my gosh. And we're in the car and my brain is like, abort, abort. This is a terrible idea. What were you thinking? And I realized I've learned to say, who said that? Who said that? And I could identify the exact family member who had told me that, maybe years ago, who was not in the car with me at that time. And I realized, no, this feeling, that's just, oh, there's something important going on. You're paying attention. This is a big deal. Yeah, this is a big deal. You're excited. I didn't want to abort. I didn't want to turn the car around. So that is good kind of fear that feels in your body like it's meant for you and it feels a little wobbly. That's very different than your intuition saying, no, that is unsafe. That is not good. That is not that you feel those nudges. Can we all feel how different those would feel? So fear still is going to be there, but it's the good kind of fear.
Yeah.
It's the, but how? But how? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's the good kind of fear. That's we can figure it out, right, Megan Marie? We can figure it out. Okay. Thank you, Megan.
Thank you.
Charlotte?
Sorry, the dogs are starting. So 3 words came up for me that jumped off the page. Success, money, and fear. And it's funny how when I sat with it, how they all looped and fed into one another. And it was, well, success, I'm already successful. And money, my personal feelings about money, because a lot of therapists feel uncomfortable about the money piece. I want to be here for others. How do you put money tied to that? But I got to eat, put a roof over my head. So money is not bad. It's what I'm making it a negative thing when it doesn't have to be a negative thing. And fear of the money and success. So it all kept looping into one another, going, okay, they're all tied really closely, and fear is healthy. A little bit of fear is healthy. It's like you said, the excitement, and that's okay. And it's fearful too, because I'm making peace with it. So it's new. So all this just came to me real quick when I sat with this.
Wow. You know the way. The way just told you money is not bad. Money is good. Money is neutral. Money is all sorts of things. And thank you, Charlotte, so much. And this is just a great example. And I don't know if this is true for Charlotte, but it's true with my relationship walk with money. At one point in my journey, I was like, but okay, if money is really neutral or good, how do I like tell that message to my body? Because I'm just, and again, then it's like competence, confidence. I knew there were people that could teach me how. And I've taken 17 of her master classes. I have mastered the frequency of wealth. I have mastered the feminine energetics of how to receive wealth and how to understand that has nothing to do with my worth on the planet and all that. I knew there. So if you're stuck, you guys, and you're just like, but how? The how is just, I gotta go find someone that can help teach me. That's just it. Okay. Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. All right. I want to open it up for questions before I wrap up. Actually, let me wrap up with the last slide, and then we'll see if there's any questions. But I am so grateful that you've all been here. I just want to tell you a couple ways that you can work with me if that's anything that you're wanting to do. consult with drerin.com is where you can get on my schedule and we can chat about coaching, mentorship, what that looks like. I do coaching in a very I think, revolutionary kind of model where you can pay as you go, kind of like therapy. So it's $250 a session, or you can buy packages and get discounted rates. So I just want people to know that you don't have to mortgage the house to coach with me. Okay, we've done that, haven't we, Garth? Okay. Anyways, you could do that and have it be kind of intermittent coaching throughout, like you see a doctor, like that model. What a revolution. Okay. So please know that's available, and my goodness, we could do a lot in an hour. If you have anyone that you know is looking for a speaker, I have great referrals. You could get cash or coaching, but it's drerinspeaks.com if you want to be, if you want speaker coaching and how to create your signature speech that sells from the stage, we can do that. If you want to make money with me online selling a health and wellness product, go to fitwithdrerin.com, take a look at that and reach out. And then if you want to get my books, you can go to Amazon for all those books or drerinoksol.com/shop. So that's how we stay connected.
Why don't you show the cover sign? So
Any questions? So God is my guru. Oh, How Human of Me is another journal, and this has the questions to prompt to ask yourself to create a high performance life. So to create what the happiest, most successful people ask themselves. The idea, like, if questions are the answers, how do you ask yourself the highest quality questions to get the highest quality answers? So it's another journal. And then Mind Your Own Business. So those are the 3 books. But I do want to open it up. Does anyone have any questions before we wrap up?
And as a reminder, you're all muted. So if you have a question, please unmute yourself.
I will send the recording to all of you because I know who's on. So if you want to share it with anyone that you think would benefit from that, that would mean so much to me, and I would be so grateful, and that would be wonderful. We're going to set the captives free. What is a word to describe how you're feeling after our masterclass? And then we will say goodbye. Ooh, Megan, unmute, please. I want to hear you lighter and enlightened. Thank you, Charlotte.
I
And
feel more peaceful, at ease.
peace. Excited. I love peace. I love being excited, enlightened, feeling lighter.
And not as scared.
Oh, confident, more encouraged, beautiful.
Motivated.
Motivated.
Good. Thank you, Chuck. Ooh, thought-provoked. Beautiful.
Yes, I feel like the answers will come to me more easily.
Oh, that makes me so happy. Follow
Yes.
God's breadcrumbs, everyone. Just one breadcrumb to the next. Live your highest life. I love you all. Thank you for coming so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. You're welcome. You're welcome.